is another episode of your favorite discussion room, Discussion Room 95. I'm your main host, Kyle.
I'm Ral.
I'm Xeve.
Cholo.
Okay, so welcome back, and this is Discussion Room 95, Season 2, Episode 2. Let's go! Come on, boys, everyone! Okay, again, you're taking too long. Okay, get out. Okay, so for I think this episode, we talked about something that I think any college student, let alone UANP student, can like empathize with, right? Like feeling ko everyone, it's college identities. So can we go around lang? Ano, what do you think about college identities? What do you think it is? What do you think about the topic?
Well, I think identities in general are very important because they're what categorizes a person in society. It holds a lot of weight into our names, depending on what people think, on who people think you are, and that in connection with who you think you are is a very important factor.
Well, I think college identity is, like showing who you really are, especially now that you're in college. I mean, we all had that transition from high school to college, right? So in high school we were someone, we were someone, but in college you want to reinvent yourself. You want to make a statement. You want to show everyone that you're a person with,
I'm a person, bro.
you're a person.
Yeah, I'm a person.
with your
I am a
with your
person.
values, with your everything, and you basically like show off what you have.
Yeah.
Your brand.
Real.
Agreed.
Branding. Again with the branding. Cholo, go.
So I agree with like what Savi said because I think that college is like a transition, more of a coming of age. Because coming from pre-adolescent, like high school life, it's a fresh start. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
can be
fresh
whoever
start.
you want. in
Fresh
my
off the
opinion.
boat.
But I have a question for you guys. Like since those are the descriptions you guys gave me, where's the line drawn between reinventing yourself, like pursuing that branding and being plastic? For you. I think we have to start off the show with something like that. Parang we define terms. Now we're not talking about being plastic, but rather we're trying to like talk about how to control, understand, and really accept yung college branding mo as of now. So do you guys wanna go?
Yeah. So you're asking about the difference between reinventing yourself and being fake, right?
Yeah.
And when it comes to reinventing yourself as a person, I'm sure a lot of people in here and everywhere else have reinvented themselves in ways, whether it be big or small. Sometimes you're not even aware of it. Sometimes you do it subconsciously. And the thing with reinventing yourself is when you set a goal of someone you want to be or something that you want to do, it's something that you really have to believe in. You can't force it upon yourself.
Agreed.
As much as you try.
Facts.
Yeah,
And the moment in which you really force it, that's when it becomes fake. That's what it is for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Ral said, but in my perspective, it's more of like it's okay to reinvent yourself. Like it's definitely a new beginning being in college. But if you find yourself doing something that you don't find yourself happy with, then I think that's when it starts to become fake or just not authentic in general.
Yeah, like I guess another thing you can take into account is you shouldn't lie to yourself. You should be real with yourself. If you don't want to be plastic, then don't be plastic to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Oh, okay.
So, and of course, like, college is also the way of finding who you really are.
For sure, like,
and,
getting out of
finding-
your comfort
getting out
zone.
of your comfort zone. So, like, just be real with yourself also.
Yeah.
For me, there's also a downside to it, like caring too much about that line, right? Because like for me, like the line between being plastic and trying to improve yourself, trying to change your image is sobrang blurred to a point na I feel like ikaw na lang makakasabi nun. And to that extent, parang you might have to like not care about what other people think. Because like if they're calling you plastic, but in your head you're like, no, I want to be like this. Right? So I think this topic is very touchy. I don't know if you've noticed, but like we wanna talk about this in the best way possible, right? Like we really wanna think about because like the whole topic about college identities, it's not just something that we celebrate. Oh, college is the place where you learn it. It's also like a place of a lot of sadness for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Like not being known as the thing that you want to
Yeah.
be known, or like
Yeah.
people creating a college identity for you that you don't like. I think this is like one of the, if not the biggest challenge for a college student in terms of social living? What do you think about that, Ral?
Well, what I think about that is sometimes there are just really things that are out of our control. An example of this is rumors that come out. Rumors are a social phenomenon na we really have no stand in it. Sometimes they just come out. It's somewhat a standard thing for some human beings to do. Na they like blowing things out of proportion. Sometimes things are invented for some sort of agenda that people have. Some people can just hate you just because they want to. They don't like how you look. They don't like how you speak. You're not necessarily you're not necessarily a bad person, pero sometimes those things just come out.
Yeah.
The main problem there for me is when you don't do anything about it.
Yeah. I mean, like, you should also have a goal. You know, like, of course, to reach this goal, you gotta have steps, right? But then not every time you're gonna, like, the steps won't go your way. So you should also have like a backup plan with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. Hello?
If you
I know what
You know,
you're
he knows
saying,
the
bro.
vibes.
Yeah. So, just back up
No,
yourself.
I think they said it like perfectly.
So for you guys naman, how about, okay, so we differentiated what for us the difference between being plastic and controlling your branding per
Yeah,
se, right?
yeah.
So what do you think naman is the difference between changing your college persona and clout chasing? Kasi madami nagsabi na ganyan, ay, papansin naman to. Like, he wants to improve
Oh,
kasi ano.
yeah.
So what do you think? Kasi unfortunately, this is for my opinion, Kyle Valencia's opinion, a lot of people in college, kahit ano mangyari, regardless if they do it intentionally or not, meron talagang crab mentality.
That's true.
Like, kunyari, when you meet someone, tapos first year bulakbol siya, and then third year, kunyari, sobrang beast mode na siya to everything. Like, lalabas yung rumors, no first year yan.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
common
Yeah.
nowadays. So what do you think is the difference between clout chasing and genuinely trying to fix your brand as a human being?
I think in this conversation, it being in college, like it's really the time for you to like find yourself, really define yourself, as you said, like brand. So I feel like it's totally fine to just try out new things, but when it comes to like cloud chasing, I think that's when you go out of your way, just to gain popularity. It's more of like there's really no substance to it. You know what I mean? Like if you don't have like good motives for it, then
Yeah, it's also
you're
like
just wasting your time.
like
bro.
what I said a while ago. It's about being real with yourself.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you like,
that's true.
if you go beyond like, when you go like plastic mode, that's when you become cloud chasing. That's when you wanna, it's not like you're doing these things for yourself to be better, to be a better version of yourself, but you're doing these things to impress other people already. That's when it becomes cloud chasing. That's when it becomes like, you're doing these things just so you can show off, just so you can tell these people that I'm good.
And sorry, just for a quick second, I'd like to define what cloud chasing is. Maybe some viewers aren't quite familiar with it yet, pero this is a very colloquial term coming out right now, and this is the most
Colloquial.
basic definition I can give it. So when you categorize something as clout, it can be either fame, money, or notoriety. Well, notoriety and fame are of the same thing, pero it's either of the two. Correct,
Pahul,
right?
kumbaga.
Parang ginagawa natin dito, di ba?
Oo.
Cloud chasing lang
chasing,
naman
bro.
tayo. For sure,
Actually,
anyway.
Yeah,
We're after the clout.
and pertaining to your question, I think
Dane, bro.
cloud
I
cloud
totally
chasing can never be something positive for me. It's always negative kasi it's really, like you said, papansin talaga yung ganong klaseng attitude. But then some people are able to turn it good sometimes. So the main difference with that and genuinely wanting to change yourself is the intention. When you want to change yourself, it's typically something more inclined towards the good of man. So when you cloud chase, you're being fake, you're doing it for others. When you want to change, you do it more for yourself, less for the others.
Okay, so as you guys watched the first episode, hopefully you did. Sa YouTube, maybe we can pop up the link or the thingy up in the thingy. Okay, anyway, but like now we have segments, right? Because we really want to more people to chime in our discussion. It's a discussion for everyone, diba? So our first segment, we're gonna call someone. She is going to share her thoughts about this whole topic. This is 0905.
0905.
Yeah, 0905.
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear
Hello.
us?
Hi. Not really. Sorry.
Not really. Okay, well, this is Kyle, Cholo, Xeve, and Ral from DR95. Hola.
Hey guys.
So, hello.
Hey.
Care to introduce yourself, Conte?
Okay. Hey. I'm Aika, and I'm a senior taking a Bachelor of Arts in Humanities.
So we gave you a question yesterday, right? We don't know your answer or anything, but kindly share that your answer na lang in one go.
All right. So, where does my college identity come from? A large part, I think, would come from my extracurricular activities, but also the classes that I've spent, like the past 4 years studying. And it does matter because you can't really escape the fact that the 4 years that you spend in university are very formative. And when you spend a lot of time in a formative state, change is inevitable. So it matters because it does help. It does equip me with certain skills and certain traits that help me cope with the demands of not just in university life but also outside. And most importantly, it helps me apart from knowing how to cope with the demands, at least I know also how and where my personality will shine. Like, I don't have to compromise who I am just so that I could meet certain expectations or standards wherever I go. So, yeah, I don't necessarily think that my identity will only form once you get into college. I think it has always been there. It's just that I perhaps learned a lot of things about myself. So it matters to me in that sense. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Aika. Hope you can
You're
watch the show.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
See you.
Hi. Bye.
Bye. So, guys,
Okay.
reactions?
Okay, can I go first?
Yeah, go.
There's this one I wanna build up on, and it's the first thing she said, that your extracurriculars can be like a really big influence on how you're gonna change per se in college. Because at least in my experience, your extracurriculars are like the first people you're gonna be working with in college. Like I think that's where you're able to find where you fit in, like what you usually like do and stuff. So that's one of the things that helped me become like who I am now, I guess. Yeah.
It's really the shared interests in which you're able to meet more people that you can relate to. Not just at first it starts off in those certain organizations or extracurricular, wherever you find those extracurricular activities. The people that you meet there, at first it's gonna be all about that work or that certain thing that you guys are gonna be doing. But the main end goal of all of those things is to stray away, not to stray away, but to not be so centered around the organization, to find other activities, to grow more friends, essentially. And I really agree with what she said. Na, I'm sorry, I know this sounds like a cliche at this point, pero in terms of your identity as a person, there are really just times that you'll have to accept who you are as a person and stop trying to change for other people.
Yeah. I actually agree with that.
Great
Oh,
minds think
thanks,
alike,
Xeve.
eh?
No, but like at the same time, ito medyo, I don't know,
Lolo
medyo
perspective.
personal take. Personal
Lolo
take.
perspective.
Everyone
Yeah, here you go.
Everyone relax. But I
Let's
think,
hear it, old man.
I think rin yung relationship between the person being branded and the person we're talking about and the person, do you get me? The person being perceived and
Yeah.
the person na parang nagja-judge in a
Okay,
way, right?
okay.
I feel like that relationship is medyo shady in a sense that I don't like it when kunyari, I have a judgment about a certain person. Lasinggerian, I see you in kegs every day, right? Like, I don't say it out loud, pero like, pag nag-meet tayo and you just feel that notion, you can't blame me for having a judgment on a person
Yeah.
based off the things you do. Kaya nga perfect with what Aika said, di ba? Na,
Agreed.
like, you can't complain na parang, oh, why do people see me this way?
Yeah.
When, in fact, yun yung ginagawa mo, right?
Yeah.
So, dun, I think my next question for everyone is like, actually, $1 million question for everyone. Because we understand that your identity, your branding comes from multiple things, right?
Yeah.
For you guys, where is it predominantly rooted? Is it from other people? Is it the things you do? Like what sinabi ni Ral kanina, di ba? Na there are just things that you can't control. Like,
Yeah.
let's say, what other people say about you. But at the same time, ikaw naman, there are things that you can control, which is your orgs, what you do, even the smallest things like, do you vape in the bathroom. I don't know. So you point lang, with you point
People
shout
do that?
out to all the
Talaga.
vapors in the bathroom. But like, for you guys, where does it predominantly come from? Kasi for me, it's really like, regardless of how sometimes medyo malicious we think people are, like malicious in their intent to judge us, right? We can't really blame them. Because that's also like, diba we learned this in some subject na parang, it's really in us as human beings that we have this defense mechanism. That we have to categorize human beings based off our judgments, right? So for me, it's really up to you. You don't want to be known as a druggie, or you don't want to be known as like a, like someone who drinks every day, then don't do it. Oh, you want to be known as medyo achiever? Make sure you make the deal. That's for me.
Yeah.
So what about you guys?
So,
Go ahead.
yeah. So for me, I feel like what you're perceived to be or your identity as a person, it predominantly sprouts from you, the person itself. I feel like I'd say na it's a balance, but if we were really talking about specifics, if I really had to choose ano yung mas predominant, I'd say it's the person themselves. Kasi we literally do carry brands over our heads. I mean, no, not literally, figuratively. So for any of the grammar Nazis out there, yeah, we carry that kind of thing over our heads. Na sometimes judgment comes like at the first minute you meet someone, pero even if you haven't spoken to a certain person, sometimes that judgment it evolves without them doing anything, and that's solely based off who you are and how you progress. So it starts from the person themselves. Pero if we're talking about the people around that person, the subject we're talking about, as an example, these people may also be influenced by external stimuli, culture.
Stimuli.
Bro,
External stimuli.
External, I just really wanted to mention that word. But yeah, it sprouts from the culture as well.
Yeah, it comes from yourself because you're the one who like makes all of these actions, does all these stuff, and it's like it defines who you are. Because like if you do this thing, and then it relates to one thing, then that shows that it's like an ethics. I learned this in ethics.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Bring
Like
it back to you and
your
PIC.
imminent acts are in your thinking, but the transitive acts are the external stuff you show.
What?
So-
Explain.
So
Again.
your transitive.
What you saying, bro?
Okay.
I just learned this last week.
Okay.
So you have imminent acts and transitive acts. Your transitive acts are external. It's basically your actions. Basically your
Are
actions,
you okay?
right?
Are you okay?
Sorry,
Like-
sorry. It's late.
Okay.
So your imminent acts are the thoughts in your head. Like this is your thinking, this is your judging. So basically, your external actions show what's inside your head, and what's inside your head shows who you are. So,
Okay.
You get it? You
Yeah,
get
I get it.
So of course, your actions show who you are, but at the same time, like if you're gonna do these actions, you gotta know the consequences also, right? So of course you're gonna get judged. But then that's where the balance comes in. Now, if you do this, I mean, you just gotta be comfortable with what you're doing. Just be comfortable. That's because that's who you are. Like you can't change
Yeah,
that.
be comfortable in your own skin,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay, so with your question, I'd like to put what the yun. Okay, so with your question, I'd want to put like myself in that situation. So for me, I'd say it's like a mixture of both of like my set of characteristics, and then
Predominantly nga.
yun nga, like the things I get externally, like from my friends, my peers. So I think that I get some things from them, and it's more of just that it's my peers that help me. Like they keep me grounded. In a way they show me like what's like what to do, like what not to do, in a sense. So it kind of like shapes my branding in a way. You know what I mean? So.
But then again, if I was to kasi apparently all of us agree with each other na it's predominantly yourself controlling it.
Yeah.
Merong external factors, but predominantly it's the stuff you do, right? If I was to contradict just to spur the thought, kasi there's this saying na you are who you think other people think you are. So parang how kunyari Xeve, I think I truly am what you think I am. Do you get me?
Yeah,
so at the same time, I look at like people na kunyari hindi naman outspoken in school. Like sila yung quiet. The people na parang kunyari, there's nothing wrong with it. Like yung kunyari nasa USC alone most of the time.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like ma-library and like talagang focus on ACADS, hindi sila masyado social.
Oh, yan.
Don't you think that, ikaw yun? Really, Cholo?
Joke lang.
Parang hindi.
Joke lang.
Cholo, we said we were going to be serious during
Okay,
the
okay.
first half of the podcast.
Cholo, be honest.
Okay.
Anyway,
Stop making fun of them.
so, what do you guys think about that? Na it's unfair because they have branding, but it's definitely not from them, or is it? Or it's predominantly because may mga people that are bullies, quote unquote, na parang alam mo yun, ay weirdo to, walang friend.
Ayan, that's
Sama
actually
naman.
something else that I wanted to touch on from your initial question.
Walang friend.
So there's this connection between those two factors, right? The person itself, himself, herself.
Okay. Wrong topic.
So there's okay. So there's two factors, right? The person and then the people around that person, right? So it really goes back and forth. Kasi sometimes, or at least most times, for some other people, the way this person feels around the people that are around that person really affects him and makes him act
Yeah.
in certain ways. Katulad nung minention mo na, generally quiet ones who stray away from having friends. Some of them may have had bad experiences in the past dahil nabubully sila. And then they go into another culture, another place. Per se, nabully sila sa high school. They go into college. They retain that in themselves kasi
Yeah.
they're fearful. And then that's when they're categorized na they're
Parang
suffering.
nag-loop siya,
They're
nag-loop
suffering.
around siya, yeah.
They're suffering. They don't have friends kasi they don't try to reach out. But then we can't really blame them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree.
We can't blame them
them.
kasi may initial na nangyari with them before. But I think one thing that these people can keep in mind is that you can always try, and that people are very different from one another. Cultures are very different. Just because it's happened before doesn't mean it's always gonna happen in another place. Don't lose hope is what I'm trying to say basically.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you should try, diba? Like always try,
Yeah.
and take initiative because college is a whole new world for you, diba? Like new set of people, they don't know who you are unless the people who you used to go to the same high school with is in the same college as you. But then other than that, you can always try to reinvent yourself. So I guess it's still on the person. It's on the person's job to, show everyone what he is and what he can be.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not like from external people,
Yeah. I get you.
So you can always try. Just take initiative because you have nothing to lose. Like nothing to lose at all.
For me, it's just sad. Like, in an ideal world, sana, it would be nice na parang, we see these people na parang are really having a hard time with their overall, like, how people perceive them. And like what Ral said, sometimes they're just placed in positions, experiences before. That's really hard to get out of. Like, it's not, I agree with you, Sevi, na you really have to take action in terms
Yeah.
of controlling that narrative about you. But sometimes kasi, diba, it's really not there. It's definitely
Yeah.
not there. And like, we can't expect din naman everyone to have that drive or initiative. Baka nga hindi sila aware na ganun.
Yeah.
But I just feel bad kasi, like, there are a lot of people in school na mas madaming rumors about them than facts about them. Like,
That's true.
so it feels bad lang. Na parang, you don't know what that person went through.
Yeah,
and-
but then it may have came from certain actions they did.
But
Like-
that's actually something like I want to touch on because you know how people always say like you shouldn't like change based on what people see in you. But if you're put in that situation where you're seen negatively and you don't want that for yourself, then I think that ignorance isn't something that you need. Then if you want to change how you are, you know what I mean?
I don't think change is the right word. I think it's improve.
Improve.
Improve on yourself, not change yourself. Because
Yeah.
if you change yourself, you could, change for the bad or for the good. But if you improve, we're always going for the better. Better versions of ourselves.
But then, it gets quite confusing talaga sometimes kasi a lot of people talk about how, change is good, change is important. A lot of people say, you shouldn't change for other people, you shouldn't do it, be yourself, do this, do that. But I think the main answer to those problems is to just follow what makes you happy. If it makes you happy to please people, for people to like you, then try to do something to change if that really makes you happy. We shouldn't judge people for for changing or because of caring
Yeah.
of what other people think,
Yeah.
if that's solely the thing that makes you smile, then you should try to do something about it. Pero if people are talking crap about you, and then
Okay.
you know it's alright, it's alright lang naman with you, then just don't get bothered. Yeah, follow your happiness as long as it doesn't hurt others,
Yeah.
it doesn't harm
I
others.
wanted to say that,
That's
like-
that's
Okay, that's good. That's
The cut
better.
to-
Pero
That's better.
panindigan mo, right? So now for the $1 million question for everyone here. Because this is a very Tumblr-ish topic. Should you change like that? I want a concise answer. Should you change for other people? Kunyari with our caller kanina, she was talking about like, you know, she did certain things to really be herself. Let's say, what Facebook post will you share? The one that tells you to never change for anyone, or the one to say that always continue to reinvent yourself so that other people
Okay.
other people can learn from you. So what's your take? To change or not to change? Sir
Using
Ral, that is
example,
the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, life is a constant series of decision making.
Grabe yun. Grabe. I see what level Ral is in
Ral,
today.
you're
I'm
on a
just saying,
roll.
okay.
You want to roll.
Every day is a series of little decisions that we make left and right? From wearing a certain pair of shoes, brushing your teeth if you don't like brushing your teeth. You know, it's all about picking that. And we create these, or rather we follow these decisions based on what we perceive as more important to us, right?
I would
Hey,
share
you
the.
set this up, bro.
I would share the don't change for anyone.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you change for yourself, not for anyone.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my
Yeah,
point. Like,
Yeah.
If you want to change, then do it for yourself. Do it for your betterment.
But is there value in that? Yung judgment ng other people? Like, when they start judging you, may something ka ba may extract doon to better yourself?
Well, from my experiences, like I don't really care if people judge me because I know I'm doing good stuff. I mean, like I can do like stupid things, right? But at the same time, like I'm a good brother. I'm a good son. My grades are
How
good.
will you say that?
You're a great friend.
I'm a good
you're a
friend.
great
You're a
bro.
great
You're a
friend.
great
You're a
host.
great host.
That's
So like, you know, as long as I'm doing the thing, I mean, yeah, as long as my goals are set and I'm following them, then it's good. You know, it's good for
Yeah.
me.
I totally agree with what Sevi said, especially at the part where, you know, you shouldn't change for anyone else except for yourself. But I do agree that there is some value to
The
what other
judgment,
people
yeah.
think.
Same.
Because, I mean, at least for me, like, I think everyone is compelled to fit in. I think that's just
yeah.
something
Okay,
that all of
so
us
all
have.
three of you are in this level.
Yeah.
I get you. Okay, go.
Everyone is like somewhat compelled to fit in, but like with respect to like things you like, you know what I mean?
I agree.
And like with that, I think it's really our peers that really dictate the norms. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I know what you
it's
mean.
our peers that dictate the norms and like what we should like. Basically, yeah. I don't think there's any other way to say it.
For me, it's yeah, I agree with everyone. Na parang, you know, you really have to look in your own personality and say na parang, oh, this is the best version of like, let's say Kyle that I know that I can present. Not just because I can present it to other people, but like as I can present to the world. Period. Right. So, but at the same time, I do think that there are hints in the sad criticism of people. Like kunyari, if there's bullying or like they spread rumors, there are hints na parang, oh, maybe if I change this. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So that's but you have to balance that. If you start caring about that more than your own improvement, I think, again, going back to our first topic, that's being plastic.
Well, I think like
Yeah.
okay, going back, it really matters on who tells you to change. You know, so like what Cholo said, it's your friends, and I guess when it's people important to you that tell you to change or tell you to do things, it's because
It's like for your own
it's, yeah, it's for
betterment.
own. If it's for your own better. But if it's like random people who have no idea who they are and they're spreading rumors.
Oh, we
Yeah.
agree. We agree.
Facts.
So
We
like,
agree.
You don't,
We agree.
no, you
Better,
don't,
baby.
you don't listen to them. You don't change for them. You change for the people that give you, what do you call that? Criticism.
Honest feedback.
Constructive
Yeah,
criticism.
there.
There.
Sorry.
That's the right word. Constructive criticism.
This is getting very deep, and this is like we really wanted to do this topic like justice, because we also understand that this is a very delicate thing to talk about, especially with people that are having such a hard time trying to manage rumors and like all those stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, but we also wanted to hear what other people in school think about this topic. Should you care or not care? Is there value? So, as you saw last episode, this is the Rome.
Hey guys, so now we have Kat Jimenez, a first-year Paul Echo student.
So, Kat, should you care about what other people think of you? And why?
Okay, so for me, I think we shouldn't restrict ourselves
Okay.
just because we're scared of how other people will perceive us. I think that no matter how good their intentions can be,
Yeah.
when they're judging our actions, at the end of the day, it's us who know what's best for us, what makes us happy, and at the end of the day, it's us who will be stuck with the end result. So, yeah. And actually, I saw a quote before, and it actually
What quote is it?
stuck to my head. I don't know who said it, but it says, care about what other people will think of you, and you will be there personally. So, yeah, very strong. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Kat.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you.
This is Iggy, a 36YP Paul Echo student.
So Iggy, we have a question for you. Should you care about what people think about you? And why?
Honestly, I think it's a yes and no. That's my answer. Because yes, you should care what people think about you. Because it is important to be liked, to be looked up to by other people. But you shouldn't base what you do based on what other people think.
So you're on the yes and no side, so it's kind of a neutral.
It's a neutral thing. Because it's really important, your reputation, you know. Because if you don't have a good reputation, then you won't really get anywhere in life. But of course, you have to prove yourself through what you do, and you can't do that by following the people's opinion of you.
Okay. Thanks, Iggy.
Thank you.
Now we're with Ramon, a second-year economics student.
So Ramon, should you care about what other people think of you?
I don't think you should. Kasi, for me, here in college or in like in real life, I think you should only care about what you're doing, and as long as you're not hurting anyone around you. Like I just wanna get in, get out, and if you talk behind your back, they don't know who you are, naman. I think, for me, personally, I think they'd be called my fans. Kasi I don't know them, and they talk about me a lot. But I don't talk to them, I don't talk about them. I think I would consider them as, my followers. If you keep doing that one, I don't think it'll benefit them. Kasi, number one, we're not friends. Number two, we don't know who I'm doing. And I make sure to not hurt anyone no matter what I'm doing. I stay in school, I study, and personally, I don't really think that we should care about the others.
So, do you have this mentality of a hater's gonna hate?
No naman, kasi I don't think I'm that important to it. I'm not that important of a person to say that I have haters, ganyan. But if may nalaman ako na people are saying bad things about me, I just shrug it off na lang and say, they don't know what's going on in my life. Sure.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you so much. Hey guys, so now we have Rafi Cordero, a 26YP Humanities student.
So, Rafi,
Yeah.
should you care about what other people think of you?
Well, I mean, I think
No, it's
Rap.
weird.
Oh, shucks.
Okay. Well, for me, yes and no, but more of no.
But to some extent, you should actually care about what people think about you because it can help to improve yourself. You can take their criticism as something constructive, and it can also help in developing your self-awareness. But I think at the end of the day, you shouldn't overanalyze what other people think about you because most of the time it's probably not real, and what matters is what you think.
That's true.
But then again, take into consideration what they say.
That's true.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi.
Okay.
Welcome back and thank you to Rafi and Ramon. Another great job. Comment
Yes,
naman natin
yes.
yung
Ramon,
dalawa. They've been doing such a
galing,
great job recently.
Come on, bro.
Like
Guwapo
also
ni
Aaron,
Ramon.
no? Yun, kunyari okay, but like, thank you for everyone who spoke and like everyone who shared their opinion. I'll start. I'll bring up something.
Bawal.
For me, I don't agree with the first person. I think it was the first person, Kat, right?
Wait, thank you for your answer.
Thank you for your answer,
Yes.
but this is a show about like you can disagree. That's why we don't have answers, like conclusions, final conclusions about things, right? Because it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it's a discussion.
Discussion.
Exactly.
Room
Okay.
95.
Okay. Okay. So
The room.
okay. Okay.
The
So
room.
going back, I don't agree with the only you know what's good for you. That line. Something about like that line. Because like for me personally, I'll start na lang na I love reading books. I love watching YouTube videos about like personal development and like I love listening to other people. Like yung like credible people. Like kunyari mga mentor ko sa work ko or like mentor ko throughout college. I feel like a great majority of going back to what you said kanina, diba? These are the right people to talk to. Hindi like random voice or random tweet or random Facebook post, diba? So
Agreed.
for me, I don't agree with that. Parang sobrang like okay, just my opinion. I see that as sort of like naive way to think na parang what if like I love doing vices, right? Push ko yung vices. Vices, right?
Vices.
Vices.
Okay.
Vices.
Okay.
Right? Like
Very broad.
if I'm like super into those things, tas hindi ako makikinig to other people.
Wala.
That's where constructive criticism comes
boy.
in. bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the saying that only you know what's good like for you is medyo for me parang assuming that you've already have everything figured out.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I don't think anyone does.
I agree. I think you do though.
Nah, bro. No.
Ah, talaga?
For real.
For real, bro?
No
Are you
cap.
kind of like lost?
What?
Lost,
What?
diba?
What?
Lost? No cap.
No cap.
Dave?
No one's wearing a cap right
No
now.
You want the cap?
Anak? You want the cap?
Anyway, going back to
Like
the
we
topic.
just said last episode, bawal corny sa show na to. Okay?
Going back to the topic.
Bachi na, bro.
Going back to the
Balish ka
topic.
na.
I honestly also well, a different person. I actually agree to one of the guys saying that they're his fans because these people, like, you don't know them, you don't care about them, you don't give a hell about them. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like,
Facts.
so why
All
would
facts, no
you
friendly.
listen to them? And the fact that they know about your life, the fact that they know about, they know about your life. They're saying these things. That then it becomes it's like they're your fans. So it's kind of funny when it's true also.
Yeah.
So I think you shouldn't care what other people say. These when we refer to these people, these are people who you don't care about. People that we do not care about and have no significance in our lives.
Okay.
There we go.
When you were asking about if what people say about you holds weight, right?
Yeah.
And I'd like to expound on it a little bit because it relates to what was just talked about. It does hold weight. For me, I don't share exactly the same sentiments with Xeve in a way. I think everyone's opinions matter, regardless if there's someone that's close to you or not. If you're gonna decide to listen to opinions that come from not just from yourself but from other people, then you'll have to listen to everyone, not just the ones that you care about, not just the ones that your family or friends with, but even the people who you've never spoken to. Kasi maybe these people can see certain things about you that neither you or your friends and family can see. Diba? Sometimes these people think in ways na are things that you've never heard before. Because sometimes the people that we keep close around us think, act, and move exactly the same way as us. So if we're talking about negative traits, na ginajudge ka ng people for, 8 times out of 10, the people that you're around with will probably
Statistics
embody
already.
or reciprocate those same traits in you. So, kung sa kanila ka lang makikinig, how will you really get to change yourself?
Bang.
How will you really get down to the facts?
Go, Ral. Go on fire, Ral.
Yeah.
Today, Ral's on fire. Like,
Okay.
honestly. Cholo, share your thoughts.
Okay, first of all, like I love Sevi's answer because it has that whole, it has that like whole, you know, I don't care what you think about me because I don't think you think about you at all.
You don't know me. You don't
that
know.
that
Like
type
what the
of
guy said.
mentality.
I see the point though.
But at the
You
same
don't know me.
time, when it comes to judgments, I think the ones that we should listen to, like to change ourselves, are really by those that we keep close to us. Because at the end of the day, I think that they know what's best for us. And if we totally close our doors to just criticism like that, people telling us that we should change, but in our mind, like we think like, no, I'm fine. Then I think that you're just gonna be stagnant. You know, like you're not gonna move. You're not gonna be able to better yourself because you don't know what other people are like looking for in you. Like what other people want for you. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I guess another thing to take into account here is is the fact that, example,
you.
you're a person in a position, a high authority, and you have people under you. Of course, you in that
Like a
situation,
host.
in that situation, you have to care about what they're thinking about you because you're an
course. I
example
care,
to
bro.
them.
I care.
You know, you're an example
care,
to
bro.
them, and your rep matters to them. So of course, you know, like we have
all about
it
the rep,
depends
bro.
also. It depends also on the situation here.
I feel like to conclude that whole topic, if I was to summarize it, it would be more like, okay, you do you in a sense that like whatever you're doing, like the improvements you're making, the things that you're passionate about, go do it. But at the same time, it's so naive to think na you have all the answers na ready. So I feel like for me, pushing yourself forward through other people is very, very, very important nowadays. Like, diba? It's like, that's me doing me. Yung looking for the people who care and like
Yeah.
dissecting.
Yeah.
That's like asking for advice. That's me doing me. That I think is like the best you doing you. Because like to think na you have all the answers, what to do, like how to
Yeah.
wear clothes or like how to blank or how to blank, like wala kang inspiration at all, that makes you like Einstein level stuff, bro.
Iba ka pare.
That's
Iba
true.
ka.
Diba?
Another important thing there is to distinguish yung mga taong, you know, criticizing just for the point of criticizing and hate.
Yeah, like
that.
that.
Yes.
Yes.
That whole crab mentality
Yeah.
thing.
And people who genuinely
boy, if you don't
genuinely
get-
care but you know, minsan na-misinterpret sila na
That's a
nagiging
good point.
That's a
na
good point.
mapag-isipan silang judgers or this or that.
Yeah, and I think that throws back to we're not self-promoting here, but like I feel like that's the importance rin of proper like discussion.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
that's like proper discussion. Na
It's not
parang,
about
Discourse.
don't hate.
diba? Don't hate. Like no hate involved.
Yeah, no hate
Like
involved.
like how you take in info or how you speak or how you communicate. You do you. Pero dapat walang hate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't hate,
Don't-
meditate, contemplate.
In my opinion, like if you're with like what Ral said though, like I think if you're gonna give judgments to like these people, I think it's just you have to have the right motives.
Yeah,
you know,
right
yeah.
intentions
you know,
for sure.
like
Yeah, you gotta do it for the good. that's the point. You gotta do it for the good. Like you genuinely want these people to improve. So yeah, just don't hate, man.
Okay, so for the last question, from all of our hosts here, like, can you give like tips for people who already have a certain identity, right? And they want to reinvent themselves? Because that's a whole different thing. Like, it's different when you're entering a new culture, right? It's different when like people have this like set persona around you, and you want to ano. So what for you guys are the best ways to do it? Anyone want to start?
All right, so if you want to change yourself in the middle of something, in the middle of your university life per se, the most important factor to it talaga is believing in what you're trying to achieve. And if you don't believe in yourself, how can anyone else believe you?
Yeah.
So like what I'd like to say about that is like one of the things that I probably like encountered myself with a situation such as that is that I find pressure in having to change how I am, because some people say like I'm not afraid to say it na people feel like patapon ako, mga ganun.
Whoa.
And I mean, in my opinion, it's not really. I'm about to go out Twitter mode, yo.
Okay, go.
It's not about where you start. It's about where you finish. And I'm a freshman, but I've been in the university for 3 years. And like
so you're
what
still even freshman for 3 years, bro?
Dane, bro.
This is the
Six
second
YP,
episode.
Six
This is the
YP,
second
my guy.
episode.
Oh my god.
You're
Okay.
you repeated freshman. 2
Yeah,
times,
yeah.
bro?
Sadly.
Come on, man.
OG.
But actually, as you would say, no cap.
No cap.
Based
bro.
on what you just said, I actually used to think of Cholo that way. Like I genuinely did
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like Cholo.
Same, bro.
Me and Ral were
I
classmates,
thought it was
bro.
just a small man.
I
I
didn't know
didn't-
this. May
I
hidden
didn't-
tension pala among
Bro.
the host. Whoa.
There
anymore,
was
not
shade.
anymore.
We're the
There
same
was
height.
shade.
We're the same height when he stands up and I sit down, man.
I know. It's crazy.
He just opened up, tas you guys like grunt.
Wait lang, I'm getting there. So I genuinely did not like Cholo the first time I met him, and this was from we were
The
classmates.
shade room.
But then
The shade room.
slowly but surely, because of me trying to talk to him and him also talking to me, I understood myself na I judge too quickly, which is a normal thing, by the way. People always judge. We do this subconsciously, consciously, actively, passively.
Daming Lee.
Wow. we do this all the time.
Shout out to David Lee.
Shout out David Lee.
Pero what's important in that is being responsible. Syempre, I had those thoughts about Cholo, but I didn't go around saying, this guy Cholo, I don't like him. No one should like him. This guy is this.
The shade room.
They were just
95.
inherent muna. But thank God, because of how the universe works, that I was able to have the opportunity to work alongside Cholo, and I'm able to realize na he's not what I used to think he was. He's actually better than that.
Daps.
Daps, bro.
Bro, that's kind of mushy, bro.
Grabe, medyo. I'm not gonna high five you.
Well, I guess to start that off, like of course you gotta set a goal for yourself. I mean, like let's say, yeah, you weren't as active in orgs as you were before. Maybe a goal to change that is be more active in orgs. So how do you do that? You join more orgs. And how do you be more active in orgs? You just gotta be active in orgs.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
put yourself
yeah.
out there.
Agreed.
So
Step
like,
out of your comfort
it's
zone.
like if you wanna be good at something, let's say if you wanna be a good writer, then just keep writing. If you wanna be a good basketball player, just keep playing basketball. So
Is it overnight?
nah, dude,
It's not overnight.
Rome wasn't built overnight. Rome wasn't built overnight, man.
How long was it? How long was it?
I don't know,
That's
but centuries, man.
I love that answer, because at the same time, like, college, especially, like, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yeah,
You get what I mean? Like, go at your own pace.
What are we saying, man?
No,
We're
no.
saying all these quotes.
Yeah, bro. I told you, bro. I'm finna go out Twitter mode.
I think for me, Ren, it's like, it's going back to everything you guys said. Like that's great, pero like I agree 100%. But like, you have to accept the fact that at the end of the day, diba, na parang the answers are sometimes not from you. Like hindi lang sa'yo.
Definitely.
Yan.
Oh, for sure.
And I just want to say also na kung gaano ka kagaling to reinvent yourself, a big part of it is yung ability mo to select and choose where you listen to, right? Kasi like, ako personally, like, okay, if I was to give a quick tip on how to reinvent yourself, ako, personally, it would be to read books. Honestly, read books,
Read
or like,
books.
or like listen to like podcasts or like, let's say, YouTube stuff. Because, parang, alam mo,
podcasts and
But then
specific-
that's just a process. I mean, that's just a step.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
exactly,
That
but it's a very
one
important step.
Because I
Yeah.
think people have to, like with me, like I know it's kind of nerding out, pero in terms of books, right? Like no one in this world will ever disagree with the fact that you're much greater of a human being you were 5 years ago. Or like sobrang different ka na, right? So imagine the people who lived out their entire life and shared it in a book. Parang cheat code mo yun on how to be to reinvent yourself in the best way. So that's why that's the value I see in like books and content not just books anymore, like generally content. diba?
Education.
Education,
Guidance.
exactly. So siguro like small, since we still have time, small touch point lang. paano naman, anong advice niyo to people when in terms of like branding someone or judging someone? What's your concrete advice to them? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So just as I said earlier, don't feel bad for having preconceived notions about people.
Oof, preconceived.
It's really it's a defense mechanism of humans
Of
to
haters.
categorize people so we know who to place ourselves among. So when it comes to those judgments, just be careful in how you exercise them. Don't go around telling people agad about it, claiming it like it's a fact, like it's the truth, because
Yeah.
that's your opinion, that's your judgment. So if there's any person in the university, in a certain environment that you're not really vibing with, or you don't have the most positive comments about, and you keep thinking about it, you can't help yourself from judging, then actually seek that answer for yourself. And you can do that through catching a conversation with that person.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Room 95.
Okay,
It really, it really is all about that. See it for yourself.
I think kasi din in terms of like other people, right? I feel like exactly what you said. Don't feel bad. Like as long as you genuinely think you're an objective human being and like wala kang hidden agenda, wala kang tinatry i-promote na against like this or like all
The
of that
shade room.
stuff. Like go ahead. Like and ako nga personally for me, since I'm a bit old in school. A bit old in school.
Understatement, bro.
I've had my fair share of criticism, but it's fine because like, dun nga yung sinasabi na kanina, it's picking and choosing, right? So like, the people na sobrang ganda nung they discussed it to me the right way, they communicated it to me the right way, or like they messaged me, or ma-feel mo talagang walang hidden agenda, I listen to. Like, I genuinely listen to. Pero kunyari, it's like
Same,
some
bro.
random person online, like, it's okay. Again, going back to what Ramon said dun sa The Room kanina.
They're your fans, bro.
Yeah. Like, thank you for talking about me. Like, thank you for knowing all these things about me. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, like what Ral said, we have, of course, we have preconceived like notions, right? So, I guess like what you were saying a while ago, you were talking about how you had these thoughts about Cholo before, but you never said anything to anyone. Like you don't announce it. Cholo's this small guy who thinks he's so cool, whatever.
Whoa.
I mean,
What about that?
By the way,
What about that
that's
shade?
only one of the things I thought about.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
dude.
like,
Keep
you
then.
can have
Keep
these
then.
thoughts, you can have these judgments, I guess, but you know, like you don't know the person yet, right? So might as well just keep it in.
Yeah,
And-
I mean,
yeah,
if you
like-
don't have anything good to say,
Yeah,
don't
if
say
you,
it at
like
all,
what
bro.
Saint Josemaria said.
Ooh.
If you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all.
UANP. Right there. Cholo?
That's exactly what I meant. That's exactly what I meant earlier.
I think like one thing to say.
Tingin ka naman kay Ral. Tingin ka naman kay Ral when you say it.
Bro. No, I think one thing to remember when making judgments about people is, aside from having substance with your judgment, having the right intentions, I think it's more of just recognition that everyone's a work in progress.
And different.
Yeah, everyone is different. Everyone's a work in progress. We all have our own struggles, and what we see on like the judgments we make for face value is, it's really not. It doesn't dictate everything about us.
Tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like that's like the best way to put it.
And so thank you so much for watching this episode of Dear NFM. Again, this show wasn't created to give people the answers. It's to spark a discussion.
Amen.
So love us, love what we said, like go, like live it out. If you hate it and disagree, go lang.
Just
As in,
know,
go
Go
lang.
ahead,
just
ahead.
know we ain't stopping anytime soon.
Yeah. If you disagree, go. But do it proper, like no hate. Again,
Maybe
hashtag no hate.
maybe leave a comment on this video
Yeah,
right now.
leave
Yeah.
a comment down below.
Comment down below.
Comment down below on what you think about this discussion. Meron ba kayong mga nakuha? Meron ba kayong mga things that you would want to like tell us also? Baka like meron kayong personal experiences. To run it down lang again for our 0905 call. I hope you guys there can comment down below who you think can be a caller for the next episode.
Or who wants to be a caller?
Can I ask my mom to call?
Yeah, pwede naman. Pwede naman. Meron ba kayong and then also, please follow us on all of our social media accounts. We're trying to really push the boundaries of
Yes, sir.
what media can be in this university. So like follow us on Facebook. You can find us in www.facebook.com/bosondr95. Yes. Okay. I was supposed to say another letter. But anyway, and then for YouTube, just follow us. It's on Boson TV. And of course, just follow the official page of The Boson, UANP's premier publication, thought leadership, and all that
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
Any last words for anyone?
No.
Yeah, pagod na kayo. Anyway.
If you guys, if you, as mentioned earlier, if you guys are one of those people who are struggling to talk to someone, the four of us and the rest of the people at Boson and the DR95.
Oh, for sure.
open to
Yeah.
listen. For
Message
sure, for
us.
sure.
Like, we'll meet you hindi naman anywhere. We'll meet you. Di ako makapagkita eh.
Tropa tayo.
Oo nga, tropa tayo. We're all part of the discussion room 95. So, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone behind the scenes. And thank you for all my co-hosts for today. I hope you watch us in the next episode also. And also, watch the documentary that came out last week. It's behind the scenes. So, it's called Setting the Bar. It will be coming out every 2 weeks. So, meron na tayong behind the scenes. It's also just to show, like, not just the hard work of the people involved here, but also, like, the ultimate, like, goals of this show, right? It's called Raising the Bar. Sorry, pardon me. Okay, so, pardon me. Anyway, so you've just watched Discussion Room 95. Thank you so much and good night.